Hi there, Spooky Reads friends. So here I am tonight to talk about my best friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. So if you haven't seen this one yet, it's very much an homage to everything 80s and horror and teen fiction of the 80s, I think, as well as my actual lived experience of being a teenage girl in the 1980s. There was just so much of this book where I was like, oh, that's me and my friends. And it was, for a person my age, it was such a nostalgia fest. But it was also a really great little horror story about the way that kids can be evil to each other and possibly an actual demon possession. I think it's interesting that in the entire book, I never became 100% sure whether there had been a possession or not. It was interesting. The part I'm going to read is, let's see, 73% into the book. Again, when I'm reading it on Kindle, I can't tell you how far it is into the book. But this was a scene that was really visceral when I read it and stuck with me since. It's the one when I think about this book, I think about this scene. So it's a scene between Abby, who's our narrator. Well, it's not, yeah. It's between Abby, our narrator, and Margaret, who is one of the group of friends the group of friends that's been torn apart by all of these strange happenings. And Margaret has been sick for a while, and Abby came to see her and brought her some Fruit and Glacia ice cream because, that was the classy stuff in the 1980s. And it's not gone well, I guess would be the way to put it. So here we go. Margaret opened her mouth to scream, but out came a loud gurgle, a wet, sucking, gagging sound that made Abby's stomach flex in sympathy. Margaret twisted, her spine bending backward into a C, head toward heels. Then she twisted the other way, doubled over, curling herself into a protective ball around her distended belly. The sheets slid off the bed and onto the floor. Ugh, 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 she chanted. Abby was scared that Margaret might bite off her tongue or go to the bathroom in her bed. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The question ran on a loop inside her brain, and she didn't have any answers. The door flew open. What'd you do to her? Riley bellowed. This is Margaret's brother, Riley. Peanut butter was smeared across his knuckles, and he left streaks of it around the doorknob. Abby could smell it all the way over the bed. The scent seemed to send Margaret into a new seizure, and she clawed feebly at her frail throat, letting out a long moan. "Gah," she said. Bo, the Irish setter, came around Riley's legs and stared into the room at Abby, at Margaret, and then trotted over to stand by the side of the bed, snuffling at the blankets. "She's sick," Abby said. "I didn't touch her." "I shouldn't have let you in," Riley said. But he wasn't moving past the door, as if he was scared to get too close to his sister's spasming, half-naked body with her boxer shorts rucked up to show one mottled thigh. "What do we do?" Abby asked. "We're going to be in so much trouble," Riley said. "We have to help her," Abby said. Riley shook his head. Then he snapped his fingers at the dog. "Come on, Bo," he said. "Let's go." "We need to call an ambulance," Abby said. "Does she have a doctor?" Suddenly Margaret stopped writhing. Her body lay completely still, stiff as a board, toes pointed down, knees locked, arms rigid at her sides, neck straining, tears leaking. "She's fine," Riley said. "See? She's okay. Is she okay?" Abby had no clue. "I really think we need to call somebody," she said, "or give her CPR or something." "She's still breathing," Riley said. That's when Bo took 2 steps back from the bed, locked his legs, and started to growl low in his throat. Margaret's jaws flew open, exposing a deep, black cavern that extended all the way down to her stomach, and she started to beg. "Oh, God," she moaned. "Make it stop, Abby. Please make it stop. I want my mom. Please make it stop. Mommy." The last word became a scream so loud that Abby felt it in the soles of her feet. So loud that Bo started to bark, It went on, and just when Abby thought she couldn't take it another second, it became muffled, like something was clogging Margaret's throat. Then the muffled noises started to sound wet and sticky, and Abby saw something pale and white squirming in the blackness of Margaret's gullet, curling around her tonsils. Abby leaned forward for a better look, and the thing inside moved. She jerked back, smacking into Riley, who'd crept closer to investigate. The thing kept coming, oozing up out of Margaret's throat, rising to the surface. Tears were spilling down Margaret's sallow cheeks, and her throat and chest kept spasming. Her bony hands scratched and clawed uselessly at the tight skin on her neck, but the thing kept slithering out. It slid over the root of Margaret's tongue, and then Margaret gave 3 explosive, throat-clearing coughs, each one pushing it out further. It was sticky, gelatinous, and alive. A blind white worm, thick as a garden hose, and it was hauling itself out of Margaret's stomach with single-minded intent. So that's where I'll stop. But I tell you what, that was some creepy stuff. And you can see why that scene would stick with me. Some really good body horror in there. And if you read leading up, the relationship between these girls was strained in the first place, but Abby is still trying to be a good friend and try to get her friend some help, even when her brother is being useless. I mean, clearly something is wrong with this girl, right? And just, if you keep reading, you get to find out why Bo the dog is the hero of the whole dang book. So there you go, my best friend's Exorcism, which is more an homage than a making fun of 80s horror and teen fiction of the time by Grady Hendrix. I hope you check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. Happy Halloween.